This is the second part of the Insider Revelations from 2008, and if you have not had a chance to see the first part, I suggest that you watch it now before you continue with this video, as it deals with complex and difficult to understand truths. The first part dealt with the explanation of the role of the ruling family, the creation of the world, the definition of God and evil, what happened in 2012, the harvest, reincarnation, and the definition of heaven. It was actually only an introduction into very important knowledge about countless existences we go through in this reality. I find the revelations contained in this video to be much more significant than what we learned in the first part, and it will deal with your purpose here, our spiritual development, deciding about the outcome of our next harvest, and some other issues like dreams, starseeds, alien abductions, and so on. Again, I would like to remind you that these will be the words of the insider, and they're not mine. But if you wish to discuss all of this with me, please get in touch, as I do have a donation-funded service for everyone who wants to learn more about it. I also want to stress how important it is to share this video with everyone you know, so that we can help them stop the endless cycle of unconscious reincarnations in this reality. Reviewing, organizing, and correcting these transcripts took in total about a month, so if you want to say thank you for all my work, join Patreon or Subscribestar, or express your gratitude with a PayPal, CashApp, and bank or cryptocurrency transfer. It will help me in creating more of this type of content for you. You can also visit the shop to buy a t-shirt. All links in the description or at b434.com. Thank you. About human purpose. Your purpose in the game is to work upon yourself, to grow, develop, and transform yourself into a more positive and loving being. You had certain goals that you planned to achieve before incarnating here, which is the main reason for the veil of forgetfulness being in place. Because if you already knew what your goals were, the game would be too easy. Look at the things in your life that you most love to do. Ask yourself what makes you most happy. Experience these things as often as possible, as they will be related to some of the things you chose to put into your soul contract to do here. The object of the game is to wake up within the dream and in effect become a lucid gamer. To remember who you really are during the game, and to then begin working upon the things you came here for. Remember, we're all just acting out a grand old game here, where we agree to forget who we really are. It is about remembering that we might find each other again, and know that we are one, that all of life is one. All souls eventually learn that positive is the pathway which leads home. But whilst incarnating in the third density, negativity is still an important tool in your learning process. It is up to you how you use the tools we have given you. Do you respond to negativity with more negativity? Has fighting fire with fire ever worked for you? Or do you choose to see the negativity as the tool that it is, and recognize that it is offering you an opportunity? Humanity, though utterly unconscious of the fact, has a significant impact on which timelines are activated. You, as a collective consciousness of the planet, are choosing the negative polarization by default by the quality of your thoughts and actions. Thought is creative energy, focused. You get exactly what you put out. The planet is the way it is because of your collective thoughts about it. You can thank your creator Yahweh for that. You are the offspring or individuations of his group soul or social memory complex. Macrocosmically speaking, you are Yahweh. The karmic effect of his imprisoning us in his astral planes also has an impact upon you. I cannot be more specific on this without impinging on the law of confusion. You must work it out for yourselves. Negativity just serves to reveal your mindset. Where you see doom and gloom, I see opportunity. Life conforms to your ideas about the way it is for you. If you see doom and gloom, then that is what you are projecting. The world is your mirror. It reflects back to you what you're putting out. If you do not like the reflection life is showing you, then change that which is causing it. You should use the negativity as the tool that it is, to show you that which you are not. Can you look beyond what your eyes are showing you to find and express love and happiness in a world of fear and distress? If you can, you'll be as a beacon of light into the darkness. Will you succumb to the darkness, or will you stand and shine your divine inner light? Only you can make that decision for yourself. Use all your negative emotions as they arise as the tools that they truly are. Train yourself to notice when negativity arises in you. When you catch yourself projecting a negative thought, remember that all thought is creative. and ask yourself if that is really what you want to create. It takes a while to become proficient, but do not give up. Just keep noticing your negative thought patterns as they arise, and in so doing, simply choose again and select a response that is more positive. It is called working on yourself and is the main reason you have chosen to be here right now. It is not only the mind you must develop, but also your soul. Work with your feelings as well as your thoughts. Cultivate compassion, as that is the main thing you will begin working with in the fourth density. See yourself within all others and treat others as you would like to be treated yourself. Then remember this one crucial thing: there are no others. Also, look at the negative things that often seem to recur during your lifetime. It will be highly likely that these are also things that you chose to come here to work upon. If you chose to come here to work upon patience during this incarnation, you will likely find that you have a tendency towards impatience, and that life will often bring many experiences to you in order to test your patience. The idea being that rather than losing your temper, you work upon your impatience and resolve to become a more temperate and patient soul. The same analogy might be applied to all manner of circumstances in which life will test you. Look for and begin to identify any recurring issues you have that you perhaps struggle to deal with and seem to present themselves to you time and time again. Perhaps anger, being abusive, selfishness, hatred, cynicism, and the list goes on. Whenever you find recurring circumstances, it is because you're being presented with opportunity after opportunity to work upon these issues until you get it right and choose a way of behavior that is more positive. Once you've successfully identified these within your life, work upon them and use them as the tools of transformation that they are to improve the quality of your character, you will notice that these things seem to almost cease to appear in your life. You will still be presented with them at varying intervals to check that you have not forgotten that which you have learned, but they will be fewer and far between. You are not doomed, and your soul does not require salvation. No one's soul does. There is nothing to save it from. There is nothing to save yourself from, except perhaps from ignorance. And I do not mean that in an insulting way, but rather ignorance as in lack of understanding. At the very worst, you will have to repeat as many third density cycles as is necessary in order for you to learn the things you need to learn in order to progress and graduate to fourth density positive. But one thing is for sure, you'll get there in the end. All will find their way home to our infinite creator. Rest also assured that you will not find yourself lost in your cycling. At the end of each physical incarnation, you return to time-space, or that which has been described as heaven, where you shall once again know yourself as you truly are, a unique and beautiful soul and a part of our creator. You only forget who you are during incarnation. Your essence can never be destroyed. You are a unique part of the one infinite creator. You are an eternal soul, currently residing in a physical shell that you could call an earth suit. Your earth suit will perish, but you cannot die. Nothing can destroy the infinite creator, and you and the infinite creator are one. There is only one of you here. Understand that at a deep core level of your being, and you will understand how it works. As you do unto others, so you do to yourself. Remember that this current physical body you carry around with you is not who you are. It's just the vessel for your essence. Who you are is real and cannot be destroyed. You will retain all your memories of this life experience once you pass onto the realm of time-space, or that which some call heaven. Space-time is illusion. Time-space is real. That infinite being living within and around your body, namely your soul, is who you really are. The part of you that thinks and feels and loves. It will always be a part of you. Remember that ultimately this is a game that we're all playing here. We are actors playing on the stage of life. This world is all illusion or thought form. No one really dies and no one's really hurt. In between incarnations, you know this very well. But the rules of the game ensure that you must forget who you really are so that you believe it is all real whilst you're playing the game of life. That is an essential prerequisite when you're making choices. Otherwise, the game would be too easy. This world is not reality, though we can express reality in it if we so choose. The difference between us and you in the game is that we know that we're playing. The less you know about the game and the less you remember that you're a player, the more senseless living becomes. In all these negative things, we are providing you with tools, but you do not see it. It is not what we do, but how you react to it that is important. We give you the tools. You have the free will choice how you will use them. You have to take responsibility. There's only one of us here. Understand that and you'll understand the game. If the one infinite creator is infinite and has created everything that is, then does the infinite creator not reside within all things? When you can see the divine spark of the infinite creator, even within those who would mean you harm, the strong grip of the illusion will begin to lose its power over you. Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Remember always that this is a beautiful game that we're playing here and co-creating together with our infinite creator, and that offstage, between lives, we are the very best of friends, and that no one really dies and no one really suffers except in the game. The game is not reality. Reality is reality, and you have the power to express your reality within the game once you have learned how to do so. All of this, physical life and incarnation, is a very intricate and skillfully designed game, whereby the one infinite creator plays the game of forgetting who it is, so that it can learn to remember, and in doing so, experience and know itself as creator. All the way down to us tiny individuated sparks of all that is. The time we spend between lives in time-space is intended to restore our soul energy from within, in order to continue our upward progression. Evil is not who you are. It is part of the complex series of illusions that you use in third density to show you who you are not. The further up through the densities you work, the less polarity plays an important part in the game. The sixth density, the density of unity, is the last level that polarity is a factor, but even then, it factors in a very different way. Instead of balancing positive and negative, you'll be balancing love, light, and compassion, wisdom. Satan is a human invention, simply the personification you have given to all the negativity that has existed on this beautiful planet. You didn't know who to blame, and as you could not find it within yourselves to take any of the responsibility, Satan was created to absolve yourselves. But no soul is terminally corrupted. Every soul is a beautiful, individuated portion of our one infinite creator. Souls play characters in the game of incarnation. Souls can play some really mean and nasty characters, but underneath the disguise, they will always be beautiful. Remember this every time one of these beautiful souls mistreats you as a part of their storyline. They're just playing their part, like any good actor does whilst on stage. Be thankful to them for their sacrifice and learn the lessons they are bringing to you. Pain and suffering are just aspects of the game. They feel extremely real whilst we are playing the game, and indeed, they have to in order to make you believe that the game is real. No one really dies, but rather, the matter of human form is shed, much like the caterpillar when the butterfly emerges. Look upon physical incarnation as the butterfly in which you might transform. Be good to yourself. Cultivate a genuine love for life and for being. There is a big difference between loving yourself and being selfish. When you truly understand what it is to know and love yourself, you cannot help but to love and serve others. There are no others. When you understand this at the core level of your being, you will be on the path home to the infinite creator and ultimately submergence back into the infinite oneness. Be genuinely thankful to the infinite creator every day for bringing you into being and for his bountiful provision. You have survived this far, have you not? You may not have everything you want, but you have everything you need in order to complete that which you incarnated here to do. Give thanks for that. Show acknowledgement and gratitude to the infinite creator for all that it has done and is doing for you. It has given you the gift of life experience and offered you the free will to decide what you will create with it. Guard your thoughts carefully, as they are more powerful than you can imagine. When you're coming from a place of love for and service to your creator, a life of service to others will become a natural outflowing from that. Always look for ways that you can be of assistance to your fellow beings, being of encouragement to others. Build people up and do not put people down. Be a beacon of light in a dark world. Does that old lady need a hand with her shopping bags? How do you treat the homeless man who asks you for some spare change for the shelter? Ever heard about angels in disguise? Our infinite creator longs to be close to us. In truth, he is closer than most would believe. Look and see the divine spark in the heart of all beings. Treat them as you would like to be treated yourself, and as you would your Creator if He was speaking directly with you. For even as you are doing it to the least of these, you are doing it unto me. The law of radiation and attraction. Your thoughts, words, and actions return to you. Ultimately, cultivate a spirit of humble gratitude. You won't go wrong with that. Desire to serve flows naturally from a grateful heart. You do not serve others to achieve oneness with the infinite source. You serve others because you love them as yourself. Others are an extension of yourself. That's why the law of attraction works the way it does. Truly, whatever you are doing to me, you are doing to yourself. We're all one in the infinite creation. Separation is an illusion because you only see what is in the third density. You do not see the whole picture. We achieve oneness with the infinite source of all as a result of our upward spiral of progression. We're all on the path back to where we came from. We're all on our way back home. Humanity needs to grow beyond the stagnating concept of gods. The idea of God takes the power out of your own hands and places it upon some shadowy unknown figure somewhere out there. In other words, outside of yourself. Instead of God, see Creator. So there is no need to try. We already are creators, and so are you. The only question is, will you create consciously or subconsciously? Religion is either actually created or at the very least heavily influenced by us. There is no such thing as God. God is a human concept, which is a misunderstanding of the original concept of Creator. This is further confused as there are many macrocosmic level creators, or logos, as has been explained previously. God implies some separate entity which is outside of you, which you must supplicate to and worship. Our one infinite Creator and almost all of our logos and sub-logos do not want your worship. They want you to understand creation and your place within it as a co-creator. Ultimately, there is a supreme being in the form of the one infinite Creator, but we're all a part of it, rather than its subjects. None of the names given for this supreme being by your religions are the true name, but they are indeed correct in that there is one supreme being, namely the infinite Creator. They just have different concepts about it, which spring from the texts their religion is based upon. Do not worship your infinite Creator, but rather live in a state of thanksgiving and service to it for bringing you into being and for this amazing game it has created, in which we may forget who we really are in order to remember and know ourselves once again as the Creator. The main reason people don't have their prayers answered is because they do not really believe that they will. Don't have faith in our infinite Creator. Have trust in Him. The most powerful form of prayer is thanksgiving. For even before you ask, I have already given it unto you. Thanksgiving is knowing that our infinite Creator has provided for you as He promised, and being thankful for that even before you see the results. The more we trust in our Creator, the more results we get. You and your Creator are one. You're not responsible for those around you. You and they are all one too when seen from a higher density, but in this density, you are here to work upon yourself. You're here to remember who you are and why you are here. You're here to remember the infinite Creator, to know your Creator within you and to offer your service to Him and others of your own free will choice to serve. The one comes before the other. When you remember who you are and you know it, deep within the core of your being, you will know and recognize your invisible connection to all that is. And in so doing, joy and thanksgiving and service will be the natural outpouring result from your grateful heart. When you work upon yourself and learn to know the Creator within you, being of service to others will be natural for you, and your glorious harvest shall await. There is a simple method to check upon your developmental progress. Despite what appears to be going on in the world at large, how loving and harmonious are your personal relationships? Remember that the world is your mirror, casting back at you the reflection of that which you have projected into it. How many arguments do you find yourself engaging in? Is there bitterness and acrimony within the ranks? Do you look at others and think about how you would like to change them? Or do you love them and accept them as they are? Loving and accepting someone for who they are is known as unconditional love. That is something you will spend much time working upon when graduating into 4th density positive. It's a good idea to get a head start. Now, loving and accepting someone as they are does not mean accepting abusive behavior. But it does mean loving and accepting the person, soul, not the soul's behavior. The behavior is not who they are. The soul within is who they are. The quality of your relationships is an excellent mirror from which to gauge the quality of your output, or, in other words, that which you are creating. Do you look at a person and concentrate to a greater or lesser extent upon the things that you dislike about them and wish would change, or the qualities that you like and admire in them? Remember that we have said that all thought, word, and deed is creative. You get back exactly what you send out. So when you send out the thought, why is she so hard to live with? Why is he always behaving like this? Ask yourself, what exactly are you doing? Now focus here, as this is so obvious. You could miss it. And in fact, most do. Take away the question from your sentence and essentially you're saying, she is so hard to live with, he is always behaving like this. Do you see what you're doing? Remember, all thought is creative. You have just created the very behavior in that person that you wish to change, simply because you do not understand the law of radiation and attraction. Now try an experiment. Take someone in your life that you love but sometimes have trouble getting along with. Think about the thoughts you have projected about that person, the negative thoughts. Ask yourself, does the behavior that you do not like in that person in any way correspond to the thoughts you have been having about them? If you're honest with yourself, it's a strong bet that it does. Sure, they must have behaved the way in the first place to make you notice that you didn't like it, but we all have off days sometimes. The more you focus on that behavior, the more you're going to see of it. It's just life doing what it does and conforming to your expectations about the way it will be for you. Now, having recognized this, what will you do about it? Simply notice your negative thoughts as they arise. Literally, catch yourself as you're having them. And then, simply change your perspective. Focus instead about the things you like about this person. How you love their smile, the sound of their happy laughter, the way they do such and such a nice thing, how helpful and loving they can be. Keep putting those positive thoughts out. Preserve, as you might have a bit of negative work to undo first, but just keep catching yourself and focusing on the positive. Then prepare yourself for an almost magical transformation of your circumstances. Always monitor your thoughts and pay attention to their quality, because what you think about is directly related to what you will see around you and what life will show you. It is the difference between conscious and subconscious creation. Life gives us what we expect we'll receive, because all thought is creative. If we get up and expect to have a bad day, more often than not, that's exactly what we'll get. If you've hurt someone, be it physically, emotionally, or however else, you will have to, at some future point, experience what that felt like for them. Karma must be worked off. The law of karmic effect is not a punishment. It is a tool of learning which is set in place to promote personal growth and development. If you have to feel the consequences of your actions, there is a higher likelihood of your choosing a different course the next time around. It is also important to hold in mind that it works both ways. Seek therefore to ensure that the effect of your presence upon those others whom you encounter upon your journey are positive and beneficial. A karmic cycle is brought to completion once you have learned the lessons intended for you from it. If you keep repeating the same mistakes, you'll keep cycling until such a time as you get the message and break the cycle. Ultimately, all of us will learn that which we need to learn, and all of us will find our way home. For some, it just takes longer than others. We obstruct your spiritual development as a test. Have you ever noticed how just when you think you've found something that really feels like truth for you, something will come along and make you doubt it? To make you doubt the truth, and in so doing, to also doubt yourself in believing it? Can you see how the test works? Just when you find something that you've weighted up and dissected with your discernment, and decided to integrate it into your concept of truth, along comes the challenge to your newfound beliefs, usually in the form of an event or something that others may say to dissuade you. Your spiritual development, like all other aspects of your progression, is something that you have to work for. How do you know if your newly discovered truth is really true if you've never tested on it? Just like in Hollywood productions, we hide the truth right out in the wide open. What humanity is offered as science fiction, more often than not, is actually science fact. But never take what another says to you as truth. Your purpose here is to find your own truth. Sometimes others can help you to do so by offering guidance, but for their truth to become your truth, it must pass through the test of your discernment. Sit quietly in meditation and ask the infinite creator to guide your path. Meditate upon that which I have shared and listen to your inner feelings. They are the language of your soul. About synchronicity. Keep in mind there is no such thing as coincidence. Nothing happens by chance. Life is in a constant process of communication with us. Only mostly people are too busy to notice. Think of it as an alarm clock. What are alarm clocks for? It happens all the time. In fact, almost every time you have some new revelation that gets you all excited. And it happens, quite by design. You cannot see this, however, as it's happening beyond third density comprehension in a realm where everything can be seen as adjoining and relating to everything else. Synchronicity. All a magical part of our infinite creator's ingeniously creative mind, an excellent sense of humor and irony. About dreams. Use the gift of your dreamtime communications, which are important communications from your oversoul and many other sources whereby information is downloaded, to plug into your inner data bank. Begin recording everything you recall upon awaking and do not give up on the process, even though it is hard at first. You will begin to slowly make sense of the information which is being downloaded into your subconscious mind. When you become proficient at this, you can use your dream time as a method of inner communication. Dreams are a key method our souls use to speak with us. The conscious mind is too busy and distracted most of the time to hear what spirit has to say, so it tends to use the subconscious instead. The universal mind speaks in archetypal imagery, in a similar way that the writing in some of our Oriental languages uses a system whereby a collection of words or meanings are contained within what is essentially a symbol. So the universal mind uses archetypes to communicate in dreamtime. Just like understanding any new dialect, you just need to learn the language. To those who are skillful in channeling, a difficult issue with it is that you can start off receiving a positive entity, and if you are not very perceptive in your discernment and careful in your protection when identifying an incoming channel, you can get a negative one that pretends to be positive, but gradually slips in more and more misinformation, having gained your trust. The ones that give you precise dates and times are nearly always ones to avoid. Positive entities will not give a date and time, negative ones will do, so they can set you up for a fall. Once you're tricked into predicting dates and times, and they don't happen, they've succeeded in putting out the light of your message, as no one will see any credibility in you. Switch off all non-essential electrical appliances when doing that. The electromagnetic field they create disturbs your brainwave patterns and makes it difficult for your mind to achieve the deeper alpha and theta states conducive with relaxing deeply and hearing your inner voice. About aliens and abductions. Most of what you hear termed as abductions are conducted by your own government, especially the ones where the so-called Greys are involved. Other than that, sometimes the Confederation will meet with certain incarnates here who have a part to play in awakening others to the coming harvest. These will always be positive experiences, and those who have them will feel uplifted and inspired by their contact. Then there is the Orion Empire group. Their purpose in visiting you are more along the negative lines. They mainly target the ones you have called light workers. They try to put them off their assignments and try to spread fear. They will not actually harm you physically. Mainly their modus operandi is to restrict you and deflect you from your path. They'll often engage in psychic attacks that the light worker is unaware of, but it does often drain away much of their energy and make them lack motivation. You will only receive communication from them if that is something you have already agreed together in your soul contract before coming here. Many here at this time, millions, have a part to play in the Great Awakening and preparations for the Great Harvest. Many who do not believe now will begin to open their minds as the earth changes that are coming begin to take effect. People will be terrified and have no idea what is going on because the governments have concealed this information from you. These travelers, or what some have termed starseeds, are incarnated here to help on the ground level when this all begins play out over the next few years. When the time is right, they will come forward. Most people are not ready to hear this information yet, but not so far off they will be. Many of these starseeds have not awakened yet themselves. The Confederation stands by, ready to help them to do so if it is necessary. For ones such as these who have yet to awaken, they will have felt all their lives that they are somehow different, and they have a deep sense that somehow they do not belong here. Many of them will also have many dreams and even visions of their lives on their home planets. That is why the tall blondes keep showing up, to help their family awaken to their assignment here. Other, shall we say, off-world entities also visited the planet at that time and passed down their own understandings of creation as well as their technology from what we could best describe as being a future aspect of yourselves. It was humanity's errors in handling this information that ultimately led to the destruction of Atlantis. There are also the Wanderers, or Travelers as they are also known. They are those from higher densities who have chosen to incarnate here at this time in order to perfect service to others. They still have to remember who they are, and part of the concern is that sometimes even they do not manage to awaken in the game. Such is the power of the illusion. They are here to awaken themselves and then to help awaken others to prepare for the coming great harvest. Though even if they fail to awaken, they are not bound by the third density cycle, as they've already mastered it. Once their incarnation is over, they are again free to return to their appropriate levels. Some explanation about shapeshifting. It is not a natural phenomenon. Shape-shifting creatures or races do not exist, at least certainly not in any realm, galaxy or density we've ever experienced. However, there are certain rituals that when engaged in, enables this to take place. It has to do with the fact that the body, as is true of all physical things, is not really solid. Sure, it looks and feels as if it is, but in actuality, all matter is composed of atomic and subatomic particles of light within molecules and compounds. There are certain rituals which, when undertaken, allow for a range of manipulations of the so-called solid bodily mass to take place. And also, you should know that chakras are real and that human soul enters into its physical container usually long before the birthing process. This is the end of the insider transcript, and I'm not aware of the existence of any other ones, but if you do have access to anything else like that, please let me know. Whether all of this is true is obviously a matter of belief, but for me it feels like one of the most accurate truths there are out there in circulation, and it definitely resonates with my own experiences and beliefs. We will not know for sure until we exit this reality, but before then, it's definitely worth continuing on our path of love, joy and hope, and service to others, as these are universal values, and irrespectively of whether it allows you to progress to another density, it's everyone's job in this reality to make this world a better place for all of us. Thank you for watching, and if you feel like these videos helped you, please find in yourself that generous spark that helps others to continue on their path. Financing my work is fast and easy, and all methods are listed for you on this screen and in the video description. Thank you. Subscribe and follow. Like and share this video. For merchandise, go to shop.b434.com. Leave your email address at news.b434.com. Visit the website of the artist and the musician I featured here. For more info or contact, visit b434.com and join 44's social media on YouTube, Facebook, BitChute, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and VK. Talk to each other on Reddit, Discord, and Telegram. All links in the video description.